What's up, ladies and some gentlemen? How you doing? I'm Goldilocks. This is my channel, Goldilocks Does That Aesthetics. So I have heard you, I have seen what you guys like. You guys really enjoy videos, or you really want to talk about balancing your body types, switching your body types, and I hear you. I'm here for it. My number one channel here is about converting the inverted triangle body type. I'm getting emails about it. You guys watch that video a ton. So I wanted to provide you with some additional content for it and like how that we can make that happen. Okay. So me, for example, you guys already know my story. I had a BBL. So I was an inverted triangle and I had a BBL, and it helped make me pretty much an hourglass, which is dope. However, my body's still not quite perfect where I want it to be. There are some issues. Well, it's not really an issue, but there is one thing about my body that I would definitely change. And I believe that even if you aren't in my circumstance, that if you do this too, it will help balance out your inverted triangle body shape. And that is widening your hips or getting rid of hip dips. Okay, so in addition to, I have another way too, but let's start with the hip dips. Okay, so hip dips are basically like on the side of like your buttocks or whatever, and that's where the side of your buttocks kind of like dips in like that, right? Now that used to be kind of like the thing to have, but now like if you're trying to get that out like hourglass shape, it can kind of take away from your overall shape. Now my hip dips aren't really that bad. People probably don't notice them, but I feel like my hourglass shape would be a lot more balanced if I, help to fill those in. Okay. So I think I'm going to do like a challenge or workout to see if I can get my hip dips. Now I have to go and find that workout I think will be appropriate, but I'm gonna do it because I believe that one of the ways that you guys can help balance out your hips is by doing exercises that help fill in your hip dips. It'll take your inverted triangle and just help give you like a little bit of volume on the bottom half to help balance out your shoulders. Okay, that's one way of helping to like widen your hips, get a little more volume at the bottom so that you can, balance out that those shoulders or being top heavy in general. Okay. All right, guys. Sorry, had to change locations. Phone was dying. Yeah. So anyway, let's get back to it. So the second way I have figured out how to balance out your lower half, obviously without by any unnatural means, because we all know obviously they have where you can fill in your hip dips now with what is that called? There's two I can't think of them. Whatever, I'll put them on the screen. There's two methods where you can just fill out your hips with like a collagen producing, basically a filler. Sculptra, that's what it is. With Sculptra, there's another one you can use. But obviously that is super expensive. Like that's like more expensive than a BBL, to be perfectly honest with you. And then there's other complications that, we don't necessarily want to deal with. Okay. It's one thing to use your own fat. It's another thing to use fillers and stuff like that. So we don't want to do that. So anyway, second method. Now, as you guys know, the Brazilian butt lift comes out of Brazil, right? Why? Because that's where they do it. And the women in Brazil are known worldwide to be completely gorgeous and have amazing bodies. So something I noticed about Brazilian women is Brazilian women aren't generally very hippie, right? They're not very hippie, but still a lot of them have the appearance of having an hourglass figure. So just an observation, instead of like having hips, like wide hips, a lot of them seem to have big thighs. And when I say big thighs, like intentionally, they work out their thighs to make them bigger. So, I was like, oh, that's kind of like really fascinating, because a lot of people, here in the States in particular, use the BBLs and stuff like that to make their hips wider, while in Brazil, they actually use it to just make their butt bigger. And then they can typically, or the prototype aesthetics that they like there is to have the booty, but then also work out, and particularly the lower half, so that they have the big luscious butt, but it's toned, it's tight, and the thighs go with it. So instead of like, I'm going to put a picture on the screen so you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So when we think of an hourglass here, we think something that looks like that, right? So, you have your shoulders or upper half, breasts, whatever is kind of, bigger up top, small waist. Of course, we like that flat stomach, at least I do. And then like with the hips going out, right? But what I noticed with Brazilian women, they have the tight waist, but then they often have like very slight hips, but they have the bigger thighs. And when the bigger thighs come out, it gives them a lot of times the illusion of having an hourglass figure, right? So the trend as of late for, here in the US, if you live in the US, is if women are working out, they're working out their butts, right? You're working out their butts to get bigger, but they work out their booties and their thighs. So, ladies, if you're not down to go under the knife, which is perfectly fine and acceptable, you can go to the gym and get you, a nice warm butt, a nice firm butt. You might have muscle butt though, but you can get like a little butt. It's not quite the same as getting a BBL, but it is an alternative. Like I said, I don't think you can completely change your shape with working out. However, if you do get the thighs to match, you get the thighs, you can give yourself the illusion of having a more balanced frame, right? So instead of having the wide shoulders, and then like the slim body, you can have the wide shoulders, slim body, and if your thighs are bigger, it'll give you that balance without having to, permanently alter your shape. Now, of course, we all know being in the gym takes time and all that, but if you want to make a difference, you got to do something. If you're not going to a knife or not getting injections, and that means the only other alternative to getting in the gym, right? And obviously, if you have already had a BBL like myself, doing that won't do anything but make your results that are already fabulous, hopefully, even more fabulous. Okay? So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to personally do. Videos coming in the future, so if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm going to do the hip dips. I'm going to find a series of exercises, which I'll let you guys know, to see if I can balance out my hip dips and see if I'm happy with how that looks, and if it helps me just get a little bit more hips on me, right? I'm not really looking for like the muscle butt or anything like that, but I do definitely want to fill in the sides, build muscle in the sides so I can get that balance. Now, if I'm not satisfied with that, then I will go with the bigger thighs method. I will go with the Brazilian thighs method. That's what I'm going to call it. Brazilian thighs method. So tell me what you guys think. If you think that's a good alternative, if you think that will help you, if it's something that you would consider, like, please let me know. Also, guys, if you're checking out these eyebrows, not that impressive, I know, but I'm getting new eyebrows. So again, if you haven't already subscribed, I'm going to get my new eyebrows in 2 days, and they are not cheap either, but they are going to be absolutely fabulous. I think I'm going to get the powder brows or a combination. I'll give you the details in my next video. I'll probably drop that video sometime this week, next week. I don't know. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, so stay tuned for my brows. Stay tuned for the hip dip video so we can see how we are going to balance out our frame and be even more fabulous than we already are. Okay, guys? Thank you for watching.